Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and yes, you've read the title. It's time for another Not List, aka an episode of These Things Suck, a format where I and my neck vein Jeremy take a whistle-stop tour around the video game industry, find the stuff that really rakes our coals, and basically causes us to have mild aneurysms each and every time, where I then black out, write a script, wake up again, record it for you lovely people, and you get to just basically watch me go insane. It's a fun ride, isn't it? And today, we're talking about wrestling. Because whether you love it or hate it, wrestling is a huge cultural milestone all across the world. From masked luchadors that soar high in the air performing acrobatic twists to the burly granite-chest beasts of New Japan who treat pain like it's a tasting menu and they are very hungry boys, wherever you look, there are more meaty monsters looking to slap the marble off one another for our entertainment. And right now, wrestling is white hot, with the likes of AEW doing insane numbers and the, let's just borrow a term from Simon Miller, ups and downs of the WWE and some other promotions. Right now, it is big business, but that doesn't always mean that it's good business when it comes to video games. So today, we're going to look at the oily, disgusting titles that the wrestling industry has squirted out right into our faces. Cheers for that, mate. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these wrestling video games suck. So one of the most fun things to witness when it comes to wrestling is when the action cannot even make its way to the ring because it is so intense. And I'm speaking, of course, about the backstage beatdowns that we see across promotions, because if they're used correctly, it can inform a very passionate storyline and just some creative beatdowns. Now, these moments, however, are only fun because they happen sometimes. Well, unless you're watching a Triple H match, in which he always just powders to the outside within the first 5 minutes or so. Seriously, the man loves a walk and brawl, and at therefore no point should anyone have ever greenlighted the idea of let's make a wrestling game that only has backstage fighting, because what you'd get is WCW Backstage Assault. This lame gimmick video game marketed itself as being a title that couldn't be contained by the squared circle, but what we got in actuality was a waddling slog through a car park where characters moved like their trousers were down by their ankles. Watching a Tesco brand version of Sid Vicious move around like he's broken both of his legs after that turnbuckle spot was about as fun as eating wallpaper paste for all of your meals. And when the graphics and gameplay are letting you down this badly, what hope do you have of a fun time? Seriously, I've seen Game Boy camera photos with more fidelity than this fucking game has. In fact, it's rather ironic that there are so many trash cans listed around each area that you fight your way through, because this game belongs in the bin. But that's a joke. Right, so the Royal Rumble, or as Vince McMahon would call it, the Royal Rimble, is probably one of the greatest match stipulations ever made. 30 wrestlers, or 50 depending if you have all of that Saudi oil money to twist Vince's arm and nipple respectively, descend to the ring in order to throw each and every other person out of it over the top rope and be the last person standing is an utter joy to watch. It is the sort of controlled chaos that makes for exceptional TV, freewheeling through comedy spots, hardcore beatdowns, shocking cameos, and monstrously grand victories. Which makes it all the more disappointing that the Royal Rumble game for the Dreamcast makes you feel like you're the captain of a ship made of ass that is slowly sinking into an ocean of lukewarm sick. Everything, and I mean everything about this game absolutely sucks. I mean, the graphics look like cardboard has been put onto the wrestlers and then just slathered in fake tan, and the controls feel like you're wading through hard cheddar because they are at once ridiculously stiff and then looser than my bowels after an all-you-can-eat laxative eating contest. Yet the most horrendous sin this title commits is the fact that due to a roster size as deep as John Cena's move repertoire, there aren't actually enough wrestlers to fill out 30 entrances, so they end up repeating over and over. That's right, in a game centered around one match type and one match type only, Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast gets the core concept wrong. I don't know what's worse, the fact that this actually happened, or the fact that I have to watch New Year's baby Big Show hoof his poorly rendered rump to the ring time and time again. Seriously, this is a face that only a mother could throw boiling water on, I tell you that. This was not a Royale with cheese, it was a dirty napkin that's been deep fried down a back alley chippy, and I will not pay for one of those again. So let's face some hard truths, Jack. For a rather unreasonable amount of time, Hulk Hogan was pretty much the face of wrestling. The hot dog skinned, so bold it makes me look like I'm rocking a full mane racist face of wrestling. Hulk is a man that was both brilliant for and at the same time the utter worst for the wrestling industry, drawing crowds with one hand and then pushing down talent with his other. And throughout all of this, his ego has remained as inflated as his roided up pythons. It's this ego that has led to some of the most catastrophic failures. But there is no greater example of this in video game form than Hulk Hogan's main event. For starters, ew, this game looks like coiled turds have been stuffed into spandex. Now, I can kind of see what the developers were going for with this over-the-top and cartoonish look, but seriously, it looks like a case study of what Monster Energy drink and inbreeding would produce. I don't like the results. The gameplay, unfortunately, doesn't fare much better either, seeing as it's tied to the Kinect, which was about as sensitive as asking out your mate's widow at his funeral. And as such, you better get used to missing your attacks, brother, because even if you say your prayers and eat your vitamins, the Hulkster, well, he ain't gonna save you here. Hell, Hulk couldn't even help you even if he wanted to. And he doesn't because he's not even in the bloody game. Yes, that's right, this bleach blonde asshole literally just stands on the ringside and just goes, "Oi, do a move, mate. Yeah, that one, do a move." Just like, get in here and help, or fuck off. And best yet, he didn't even record any voice lines for the title, and you can't even play as him. For a game called Hulk Hogan's Main Event, to not be able to play as the titular star, it's absolutely mind-boggling. What you gonna do, brother? I'm gonna ask my goddamn money back. The Simpsons, the sole reason why the trips down my memory lane are so jaundice-coloured. Seriously, there wasn't a time in my early life that wasn't influenced by the Simpsons in some way. I religiously watched the TV shows, I read the comic books, I even had my room decorated with rather terrifying Simpsons wallpaper that I believed was staring at me all the time, and when you like move around the room and it like the eyes follow you. I didn't like that as a kid. Got my parents to change it 3 weeks after. Bet they loved me loads for that. But anyway, I love The Simpsons. Didn't love the video games though. Now, while some of the titles were pure gold, like the arcade beat-em-up title or the supremely underrated Krusty's Funhouse Game Boy game, others were like a hot stream of dehydrated yellow piss right to the face. And things were at their total worst when The Simpsons crossed over with extreme sports. For example, the Simpsons skateboarding game might well be bundled with the Welcome to Hell care package that newcomers receive because it is so abysmally bad. And the Simpsons wrestling video game, well, it tweren't much better. This game feels like it was cobbled together over a game jam weekend, offering up combat that feels as disconnected as your granddad giving you sex tips. Thanks to a camera that seems intent on not showing you the action, you'll whiff so many of your shots that it will send you into a blind rage. And even if you do connect, it's about as satisfying as punching taffy. No impact, and you will feel drained just trying to get a simple combo through. Now, this is just one of those titles that I don't abjectly hate with every fibre of my being, because there is some hilarity to be had here, but I'm just so disappointed in the title that I can never recommend it to anyone. It kind of feels like, well, modern day Impact Wrestling or TNA or whatever name it's going under nowadays. It's just colourful and loud, but kind of desperate. Yeah, not a good look. WWF European Rampage Tour. Where the hell to begin with this one? I mean, when you look at the title, it conjures up images of the likes of the British Bulldog smashing his way through the face of Big Ben, holding a pot of tea in one hand and kicking a stereotypical French mime in the other. Or, I don't know, Rene Dupree shoving the French flag through party boy Alex Wright's chest. That, to me, is a European rampage. What we got with this game, however, was akin to a game of chess in an anechoic chamber, as for some reason, the crowd noises from this title are completely and utterly absent. This means that while the visuals suggest a rather raucous crowd and the stinging 8-bit renditions of classic wrestling themes would make you think that you're in for an over-the-top time, this air quotes wild ride is about as exciting as being stuck in traffic. Making matters worse is the fact that the only sounds that you do hear in the ring sound like they're from the dodgiest porno that you never ever wanted to find. And making matters even worse on the gameplay side is the fact that there is just no respect for the rules of wrestling whatsoever, because this game lets you pin your opponent when they're face down. Pretty sure that's a first. To be honest, with a crowd that silent, maybe the wrestlers just want to hide their embarrassment face down in the canvas for a few moments. Seriously, I cannot get over how horrifying this game is without crowd noises. It's like a bunch of aliens watching two people fight to the death for their amusement. Plus, to top it all off, every single wrestler's outfit in this game is wrong, which is actually quite impressive when you consider the amount of merch and, I don't know, literal evidence to use as a reference point. I can't believe I can't believe they've done this. Ridiculous. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about the bad 2K games. They're just so abysmal. The graphics are just, the glitches, man. The glitches, Joe. I can't take it. Please, save me. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like my soul is already exiting my body, and it's just saying like, haha, I'm off, down. I'm not going to heaven. You thought wrong. Bye. See ya. I don't want to do this. Please, just montage me out of existence. Please, I'm gone. Thank you, Joe. And there we go. I have awoken from my endless slumber once more to say goodbye. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me on this episode. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. I know that there are probably some other terrible wrestling video games. Let me know down below, because I want to see them. As much as I don't want to see them, I kind of want to see them. There's something wrong with me, definitely is. But yeah, if you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. That's where I do all of my streaming outside of work and my Warhammer content, if you're interested in that sort of stuff. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though I pretend to be over the top and aggressive and angry in these videos, I do not like that emotion whatsoever. As I say at the end of each of this series, I do not want you to hold on to anger, my friends. If you have the capability to forgive, forget, move on from mistakes that you made in the past, and forgive those that have trespassed against you, then I urge you to do so, because it will allow you to lead a full, healthy, and happy life. And at the end of the day, that is all I want for you, my friend. All right? Big love to you. Now go out there and smash it. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Peace.